Hello students, I am Bimla and I am here with the lesson Heredity and Evolution of 10th class. So before we explain the lesson, let's learn some basic terms and terminology related with the lesson. So first term that we are going to discuss is about heredity. Okay, so what is heredity? Heredity basically is the transfer of characters or traits from parents to the offsprings. For example, you can see if a parent is having free earlobe and other parent is having fused earlobe. Okay, so the free earlobe is dominant and the fused earlobe is recessive. So chances of transferring the dominant character, that is the free earlobe, is more as compared to the free or fused earlobes. Okay, so this is how the characters they are transferred from the parents to the progeny. Okay, next we have is the term evolution, as the name itself is involved in the lesson. So what evolution is? Evolution, it is the sequence of gradual changes which take place in the primitive organisms over millions of years, in which new species are produced. So gradually the changes which take place in the living organisms, okay, those get accumulated in the living organisms, okay, that were primitive to us, and over millions of years these accumulation of character gave rise to the new species, and this is called the evolution. Now next we have is the term genetics. Genetics is the term which deals with the study of heredity and variation. Okay, heredity and variation. Okay, whatever changes that take place in the living organisms, they are dealt with by the genetics. Okay, so variations and heredity. Heredity basically means the transfer of characters, okay, from one generation to another. Okay, and these characters can be determined by the variation or changes that has taken place in the living organisms. So next term that we are going to discuss is the variation and how the variation arises. Okay, so variation basically are the changes, okay, that take place in the living organisms or changes that take place in the traits of the living organisms. So mainly variations they arise due to the sexual reproduction. Okay, so changes arises, maximum changes arise due to the sexual reproduction, but it is not that only sexual reproduction give rise to the variation. In asexual reproduction also chances of variations are there, but they are very least. Okay, now sexual reproduction leads to variation because two parents are involved. Okay, so one reason is that, another is the mutation. Okay, mutation basically is the error in the replication of genetic material. When the genetic material is copied, okay, there can be change or there can be variation. Okay, let me give you example. When you take a book and you sit to write notes, okay, while writing notes there can be some mistakes of the spelling, okay, but there is no mistake in the book, but when you sit write and in your notebook there are mistakes happen, okay, knowingly or unknowingly. So those mistakes that can change the meaning. Okay, so similarly when the copy of genetic material is done, copying of the genetic material is done, at that time the coding or replication mistake can be there, and that give rise to the different protein, and that may give rise to the change in the living organism. Okay, and next we have is the adaptation. Okay, so DNA or genes, okay, that we have interact with the environment. Okay, there is interaction of the genes with the environment in order to adapt in the changing environment. So when the genes interact with the environment, certain changes take place in the genes, and these lead to the adaptation, and this adaptation is because of the change in the genetic material. Okay, again this lead to the variations. Okay, so how variation arise and what variation is, that we have discussed. Now what is the significance of variation? Why we need to discuss the variations? Why we have to worry about variations? Okay, the reason is that variation, it forms the basis of heredity. Whatever changes we see in the living organisms are because of the variations. Now how variation arise, that we have already discussed, and due to that variation only we look different from our parents. Okay, except the identical twins, monozygotic twins, all of us are different and unique. And why is it so? Because we have two different parents and there is union of two different gametes, and this lead to the variation. Or there can be change in the genetic material due to mutation, or there can be change in the genetic composition due to the adaptation. Okay, so the variation form basis of evolution. Okay, heredity, and it also form the basis of evolution also. It also cause adaptation, which help the organism to adjust in the changing environment. That means if variations are there, an organism can adapt in the changing environment. It can survive in the changing environment. So it provide the survival benefit. Next is, if variations are more, if variation keep on accumulating generation after generation, then it gives rise to new species, or it lead to the process of evolution. That means the organism become more evolved than the previous one. Okay, as you can see the evolution of human. Okay, you can see the early man. Okay, then sequentially if you study the evolution or the history of human being, okay, the evolution of human being, then you can see slowly changes took place in the human beings, and now currently we human beings are totally different from our ancestors or early man. Okay, and all these are because of the variations that accumulated in the ancestors. Okay, now next we deal with the genotype and the phenotype. Now what genotype is and what phenotype is, and why we need to know that? Genotype basically is the genetic composition of the living organism. Okay, genetic composition in the sense, if you see, if you want to know what is the genetic composition of a male, then in human being we have 44 autosomes plus 2 sex chromosomes. In male we have 44 autosomes plus XY. So this is the phenotype, genotype of the human male. Similarly, in case of female we have 44 plus XX. So the genetic composition of the living organism or any living organism is called the genotype. Okay, now phenotype. Phenotype, simply if you understand this, okay, 44 plus XY, it is male. You don't know what is the genetic composition, but you know male. So maleness is because of this genetic composition. So when you know only the physical or morphological feature or only the external feature, then we say that is the phenotype, and when you know the genetic composition, then you say that is the genotype. Now phenotype, you can give example. Okay, tall plant, dwarf plant. Okay, there can be male or female. Okay, all this which external features that you see or appearance of the organism that you see are called the phenotypic features. Okay. Now genes. What are genes? Genes basically are the functional units, okay, of DNA. So DNA is a double helical structure. DNA stands for the deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay. So some particular portion of the DNA, okay, have the nitrogenous bases. Okay. So these particular nitrogenous bases, they code for a particular protein, and that particular nitrogenous bases which produce some information code as a gene. Okay. Now this DNA carries gene, and DNA is condensed to form the chromosomes. Okay. Chromosomes in human being, as I told you, there are 44 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes. Total we have 46 chromosomes. Okay. So we have 22 pair of autosomes and 1 pair of sex chromosomes. Okay. So on chromosomes, okay, if you see the chromosome, these are formed by the condensed chromatin material. Okay. Chromatin material contain the DNA contain the genes. Okay. And genes code for the particular information or protein. Okay. Now next term that we come across is the allele. Okay. Now the contrasting pair of genes or characters, okay, as the Mendel he did the study. At that time the study was not that much extensive, and the people were not able to know that genes are responsible for the expression of the characters. Okay. So he used the term factor. Okay. So the two contrasting pair of characters or factors, okay, are called alleles. Now these alleles, they are present on the homologous chromosomes. Okay. So homologous chromosomes are there. Okay. And on homologous chromosome, on same locus, on the same position on the 2 chromosome, 2 genes are present, and these 2 genes on 2 different chromosomes, okay, which form a pair, is called the allele. Okay. For example, in plants, pea plant, okay, the Mendel carried out the experiment. So he had seen that the factor TT are responsible for the tallness. Okay. These particular composition he gave the term dominant. Okay. And this is similar genes are there, so he gave the term homozygous tall. Okay. Here the tall T gene is present and small t gene is present. So this is capital T is dominant and this is recessive one. Okay. So here this is also tall plant, but this is heterozygous tall. Okay. Another we have the similar identical recessive genes are there, and it is called the homozygous recessive genes. Okay. In the next video we will discuss about the cell division, okay, and how the characters are controlled.